63% of knowledge workers in Singapore and Southeast Asia are currently planning to leave their organizations within the next 12 months. That is not attrition. That is a silent exodus. And your best people are leading it. Here is what makes this worse. They are not leaving because of compensation. They are not leaving because of titles or prestige. According to a 2026 McKinsey study across Asia-Pacific organizations, the primary driver is psychological safety. Or more accurately, the complete absence of it. Your top performers are watching. They are observing how dissent is handled. They see what happens when someone challenges the status quo in a meeting. And then, quietly, they start updating their LinkedIn profiles. The irony is crushing. The executives who claim to want innovation, who invest in strategy consultants and digital transformation frameworks, are simultaneously creating environments where their smartest people feel they cannot speak up without social or professional consequences. It is not malice. It is blindness. Your CTO, your CFO, your best engineer, they all know something you do not. And they are leaving before the problem becomes catastrophic. In the next 8 minutes, we are going to redefine what psychological safety actually is in a boardroom context. And more importantly, we are going to show you exactly where you are failing without knowing it. This is not soft HR language. This is about building organizations where dissent becomes your competitive advantage, not your liability. We have 3 frameworks for you. The first shows you how to diagnose the exact moment psychological safety breaks in your decision-making process. The second reveals the hidden cost of what you are losing right now. Not just in talent, but in revenue and strategic execution. And the third gives you a direct playbook to rebuild it in 90 days, using case studies from leading companies in India, Singapore, and across the region. By the end of this, you will understand why your best people are silent, and precisely what to do about it. First framework. The 3 moments where psychological safety dies. And you are probably creating all 3 without realizing it. The evidence is clear. A 2025 Gartner study found that in companies where leaders actively solicit dissenting views, retention of high performers increases by 47% within 12 months. 47%. But here is the critical finding. Most leaders claim they want dissent. They say it in town halls. They put it in vision statements. Then, the moment someone actually disagrees with them in a meeting, the psychological safe space evaporates. Let us look at what happened at a mid-sized fintech company in Bangalore in 2025. The CTO had a strong mandate: build a microservices architecture migration in 18 months. In the first planning meeting, a senior engineer, a person with 15 years of expertise, raised a legitimate concern about timeline feasibility. The CTO's response was not hostile. It was worse. He said, "We hired you to execute, not to create obstacles." That engineer did not speak up again for 4 months. When she left 3 months later, the company discovered she had been right. The timeline was impossible. They lost 6 months restarting the project with less experienced hands. Here is the application. Starting this week, in every significant decision meeting, you need to do 3 things. 1. Explicitly ask for dissent before you propose your solution. Not after. Before. 2. When someone disagrees, pause and ask them to elaborate. Not defend. Do not respond immediately. 3. If you do implement their suggestion, credit them publicly and specifically. Make it clear that disagreement was not tolerated. It was valued. Second framework. The invisible tax of silence. Most executives do not understand that psychological safety is not a cultural metric. It is a financial metric. When people do not speak up, you lose information. You lose early warning systems and you lose the exact perspectives that prevent catastrophic decisions. According to a 2026 Deloitte report on leadership effectiveness across Asia Pacific, organizations with low psychological safety experience decision-making delays that cost them, on average, 18% of projected quarterly revenue. 18%. In a market where margins are tightening. That is extraordinary waste. Consider what happened at a Singapore-based e-commerce organization in early 2025. The leadership team, all highly credentialed MBAs from prestigious programs, decided to pivot their entire go-to-market strategy based on internal assumptions. No one challenged it. Not because they feared confrontation, but because the culture had developed an unspoken rule. This team had always been right before. So question them at your own risk. Mid-level managers saw red flags but stayed silent. 3 quarters into the pivot, market data proved the strategy was fundamentally misaligned with customer behavior. The cost of that silence was $42 million in write-downs and 2 years of strategic stagnation. Here is what that organization did to rebuild psychological safety. They implemented what we call the mandatory dissent protocol. In every quarterly business review, at least one scenario must be presented by someone who did not originally design it. That person's job is not to tear it down, but to find the assumption that could fail. It sounds simple. It created a culture where silence became more dangerous than speaking up. Revenue recovered in the following year. The application is direct. This quarter, implement one mandatory dissent slot in your monthly leadership meeting. Assign it to a different person each month. Their role is to pressure test one strategic assumption. Document the assumptions that hold. Document the ones that crack. Third framework. The 90-day rebuild. Psychological safety does not return because you apologize or send a memo. It returns because you prove through action that the culture has fundamentally changed. That takes time. But it also takes precision. Research from the World Economic Forum in 2025 found that organizations that implement structured psychological safety interventions see measurable shifts in engagement and retention within 90 days. But only if those interventions include 3 non-negotiable elements: transparency about past decisions, visible consequences for psychological safety violations, and consistent reinforcement from the top. Here is how a CTO at a major technology company in Mumbai executed this in 2025. Month 1. He conducted anonymous surveys asking employees to identify moments when they felt unsafe speaking up. The specific stories mattered more than the numbers. Month 2. He held a series of small group sessions where he discussed past decisions, specifically moments where dissent had been shut down, and articulated what should have happened instead. He did not ask for forgiveness. He modeled what accountability looks like. Month 3. He changed the meeting structure. Every decision over $5 million now has a mandatory pre-mortem. A cross-functional team identifies what could go wrong before the decision is made. The person who raises the most credible risk gets time with him to discuss their career development. It sounds formulaic because it is. The formula works. By month 4, his engineering team started proposing solutions that had previously been suppressed. By month 6, his innovation metrics had improved by 33%. Your application. Commit to 90 days. Week 1. Survey your team. Week 2. Host vulnerable conversations with leaders who have experienced your feedback environment. Week 3. Announce a structural change to how decisions get made. Do not make this incremental. Make it visible. Now. Imagine your organization 18 months from now. Your best people are still here. More than that. They are proposing ideas that would have been unthinkable under the old regime. Your CFO brings you a scenario where your core business model faces structural obsolescence. 3 years before the market catches it. Your head of product outlines a customer need you had missed entirely. And it becomes a new revenue stream. Your engineers are not just executing your decisions. They are shaping them. This is not fantasy. This is what happens when executives understand that psychological safety is not about being nice. It is about being effective. Your competitors are still operating on the old model. The one where obedience masquerades as loyalty. Where silence is mistaken for stability. They are losing their best people right now. Their attrition rates are climbing. Their innovation cycles are slowing. Their strategic decisions are being made without the most critical information. Meanwhile, you are building an organization where the person with the insight speaks. Where dissent is not survived. It is celebrated. Where your board sees decisions that have been pressure tested by people who were genuinely incentivized to find what was wrong with them. The talent market in Singapore, across Southeast Asia, and throughout Asia Pacific is brutal. Acquisition costs are up. Replacement timelines are longer. The cost of losing one senior engineer or strategist is not just the salary and benefits. It is every unrealized idea they took with them. It is the client relationship that went cold because continuity was disrupted. It is the pattern recognition that could have prevented the next failed initiative. Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.